So hi, my name is James Gordon Graham, and today is the 8th of June 2017, polling day. It's the day we vote in the UK. And I've just been, actually, and I've got a little bit of footage here which you may be interested in, just to see how it all works in the UK and what we have to do to vote. So en route, there's a shop just around the corner that's selling the local newspapers. And these are the main tabloids in the UK. Yesterday I noticed that the Sun and the Daily Mail were vicious against Jeremy Corbyn. It was totally unfounded. They were attacking him and smearing him on the basis of having an allegiance somehow with terrorists, and it's just absolutely outrageous. So you can see here, even the Financial Times there is hoping that the Conservatives are going to get a increased majority. Now we're walking up to the polling station here. This is probably about a 5-minute walk from my house, and it's actually a community centre. It's a local community centre. So the first thing we're confronted with is a notice on how to vote. So you go to the desk, you get your paper, you go into the polling booth and so on. And then actually, as you go in, there's a reminder of who you can vote for. And there's 6 candidates. And what happens is you come up to a desk, you hand in, you have to actually have pre-registered, so you have a little card, you give it to the person at the desk. He gives you this voting slip, and there's a little cubicle which you go into and you put a cross into the box of the person that you want to get in. And the local Labour MP is a woman called Charlene Pullen, and this is the person I voted for. This is the first time I've voted in probably 20 or 30 years. It's actually quite a remarkable thing, and I feel that although there's an elite that do control things, there is something that people with integrity can do, and I feel that Corbyn of Labour has got some integrity. He's one of the few politicians with that integrity around. One of his past colleagues, Robin Cook, was another man who had integrity, and he, called the shots and resigned because of what was going to happen in the wars in the Middle East. He could see it coming, and he was right. And in fact, if anybody's psychic watching this, he did come through during a psychic session some years ago, and did explain, in fact, and this, the conspiracy world will love this. He was in fact murdered, but this is just something that I know in my heart is true, but it's something that we can never prove. So I voted for the first time in, as I say, in 30 or 40 years. I was trying to remember. I can't actually remember the last time I voted, and I just feel that if Corbyn gets in, what could happen is that we're going to get into a position where the elite, the people who really control things, could start to pull the plug in terms of a financial collapse or something like that. As China comes through by 2020, we're going to see the economy collapsing. And I feel that if Corbyn really does get in, he could be blamed, unfortunately, for this collapse. But in the meantime, he maybe has 1 or 2 years, I hope, where he can really start to help the NHS and help people who are being hit very badly by austerity that this Conservative government has created over the last few years. And it's appalling what they've done. And so my heart goes out to Corbyn. I really hope he gets in. And it's just a kind of knowing that in the future he may have problems, but I just hope he can go on for as long as he possibly can. Okay, so I'm now back at home in my home studio, and it's an interesting feeling that the possibility exists we're going to have Jeremy Corbyn as the next Prime Minister of the UK. And I do hope this happens. It would be a man with integrity. But make no mistake that there are much higher, more powerful forces than government that actually control things in this country. And really, once we understand this, we can start to shift the energy to actually give people like Corbyn the right platform to do what he says he wants to do. I mean, ultimately, it will be monetary based. Who controls the money, how he gets the money, and so on will be very important. And the possibility exists that we are seeing China coming through in 2020. And up to that point, we're going to see the sort of disintegration, the collapse of Europe and America to some degree financially as China comes through. How they're going to do that, I don't know. Whether they're going to do that, again, I don't know. But I feel it is a real possibility. And if Corbyn does get in, he has to be aware of this. He has to be aware that these people could do this. And the only secure way to stop it is to bring back the monetary system under the government. So the government prints money. It's not the Bank of England. They're a privately owned organisation, privately owned by the elite. And there's 200 of these across the whole world. They control the whole GDP of the world. In Switzerland, the Bank of International Settlements holds the GDP of the world. And these are privately owned banks by privately owned people. And it's very difficult to see who's in there because of the trust systems and so on. So to bring back the monetary system under each government would be a major step forward, and it would stop. The fact is, the UK this year has gone into debt in a sense that we are bankrupt. We've always been in debt, but the threshold of GDP, which is approximately 2 trillion in this country, all our goods and services amount to 2 trillion. And this year, 2017, is when this figure is exceeded by the debt. The debt is going to be about 2.1 trillion. So we make 2 trillion, we owe 2.1 trillion. In other words, we're bankrupt. And this is the year it happens. And if Corbyn gets in, he of course will be blamed for this. But actually it's accumulation of decades of the elite controlling the monetary system and making this happen. So we have to get back control of our monetary supply. And this is one of the core things that I recommend to Jeremy Corbyn that he looks at. Okay, so that's my experiences today with polling, with voting in the UK, and I hope you find it of some interest to you. Okay, many thanks.